Hello, my wonderful travelers, and welcome. I'm Lucy, and after 15 years working as a flight attendant, I've learned that flying isn't just about getting from one place to another, it's about how you feel along the way. Comfort, confidence, and calm matter, especially as we get older. Many people over 60 have been flying for decades and feel they already know the routine, but air travel today works very differently than it did years ago. Procedures evolve, cabin environments change, and small details can affect your comfort far more than airlines ever explain. My goal is simple: to share practical knowledge that helps you feel supported and relaxed every time you step onto an aircraft. Nothing dramatic, nothing scary, just real guidance from experience. You deserve to travel feeling informed, respected, and cared for, not rushed or unsure. Today, I'm walking you through simple habits and quiet tips that can make flying smoother, easier, and far more enjoyable, especially if you value peace of mind. Why flying feels different than it used to. Many seasoned travelers notice that flying feels more tiring, more demanding, or simply more draining than it did years ago, even when taking routes they've flown countless times before. This isn't your imagination, and it certainly isn't a personal failing. Air travel has changed in subtle but meaningful ways. Aircraft cabins are designed more for efficiency than comfort, boarding timelines are tighter, and flight crews are responsible for more procedures and passengers than ever before. Airports themselves have grown larger, often requiring longer walks, more standing, and more sensory stimulation than in the past. Add in faster boarding processes, fuller overhead bins, and packed gate areas, and the experience can feel rushed before you even reach your seat. For mature travelers, these small shifts can quietly stack up, creating fatigue or stress that didn't exist before. What's often missing is guidance on how to adapt comfortably. Airlines tend to assume passengers will simply adjust on their own, but that expectation isn't always realistic. Flying well today isn't about toughness or proving independence. It's about knowing how to move through the system in ways that support your body, protect your energy, and preserve your peace of mind. That understanding is what makes all the difference. Tip 1. Let the crew help with your carry-on. One of the most common struggles I see among older travelers is lifting carry-on bags into the overhead bin, often accompanied by a quiet determination to do it alone. Many people hesitate to ask for help because they were raised to be self-reliant or don't want to feel like they're inconveniencing anyone. But the reality is this: assisting with luggage is part of a flight attendant's job, and it's something we fully expect and prepare for. Overhead bins are positioned high and at awkward angles, and even a bag that feels manageable on the ground can strain shoulders, backs, or balance when lifted overhead in a narrow aisle. A small strain or loss of balance before takeoff can turn an entire journey into an uncomfortable experience. Asking for help early, before bins fill and space tightens, keeps everything calmer and safer. When you board, simply make eye contact with a crew member and ask politely for assistance. No explanation is needed and no one is judging. You aren't slowing the process. You're helping it stay orderly. Comfort and safety always come first, and accepting help when it's available is a smart, experienced way to travel. Tip 2. Add a medical assistance note when you fly. Many travelers are surprised to learn that airlines can quietly note when a passenger may benefit from a little extra support during their journey. This doesn't label you as sick, fragile, or incapable. It simply helps staff anticipate your needs without requiring repeated requests. A medical assistance note can prompt gentler boarding, a bit more time if needed, or subtle check-ins from crew members who are already trained to assist. This can be especially helpful for travelers with joint stiffness, breathing sensitivity, fatigue, balance concerns, or conditions that aren't visible to others. Requesting this note is straightforward and doesn't require paperwork or explanations. You can ask during booking, over the phone, or even at the airport before boarding. It doesn't change your ticket, your seat, or how other passengers see you. It simply helps airline staff do their jobs more effectively. Traveling should feel supportive rather than demanding, and this quiet step can remove pressure you didn't even realize you were carrying. Instead of managing every detail on your own, you can move through the journey knowing the system is working with you, not against you, allowing you to focus on the experience rather than the logistics. Tip 3. Request early boarding with confidence. Early boarding is often misunderstood as something reserved only for families with small children or passengers using mobility devices, but it's also intended for anyone who benefits from extra time. If standing in crowded lines, navigating narrow aisles, or lifting bags feels stressful or tiring, early boarding can dramatically change how the flight feels. Boarding early allows you to move at your own pace, get settled without pressure, and avoid the rush that often accompanies a full cabin. Airlines generally appreciate this because it keeps boarding smoother and more organized. You don't need to explain your age, your health, or your reasons. Simply approach the gate agent calmly and ask to board with passengers who need extra time. That's enough. Many travelers are amazed at how much better the entire experience feels once they stop waiting until the cabin is hectic and rushed. Fatigue is often cumulative, and reducing stress at the start of the journey can preserve your energy for the entire flight. Comfort isn't about special treatment. It's about pacing yourself wisely, so travel feels manageable rather than exhausting from the very beginning. Tip 4. Do a quick seat comfort check. Once you reach your seat, it's worth taking a brief moment before fully settling in to make sure everything is working as it should. This small habit can prevent hours of discomfort later on. Check that your seatbelt moves smoothly and isn't twisted, test the recline if you plan to use it, and confirm that the tray table latches securely. Adjust the overhead air vent to see if airflow is working and check that the armrests feel stable. These details may seem minor, but on a longer flight, they can greatly affect comfort, posture, and circulation. If something isn't working properly, mention it to a crew member right away while options are still available. Once boarding is complete and doors are closed, seat changes or fixes become far more limited. Speaking up early isn't complaining. It's practical problem solving. Most issues can be addressed quickly before takeoff, and doing so helps both you and the crew. A comfortable seat supports your body, reduces tension, and helps the flight feel calmer and more manageable from start to finish. Tip 5. Let the crew know if you took medication. If you've taken medication before boarding that may cause drowsiness, dizziness, lightheadedness, or dryness, it's wise to quietly let a flight attendant know either as you board or once you're settled. This isn't about sharing private medical information or inviting attention, it's simply about awareness. A brief, calm heads up helps the crew understand what's normal for you so they can respond appropriately if you need assistance later. Air travel can subtly intensify medication effects due to dry cabin air, lower humidity, and long periods of sitting. Even mild effects can feel stronger once you're in the air. By sharing this information discreetly, you help create a safer, calmer environment for yourself. Flight attendants are trained to observe passengers and assist when needed, and having context allows them to do so smoothly and without unnecessary concern. Many travelers find comfort in knowing that someone is quietly informed, especially if they're flying alone or on a longer route. A single sentence can ease anxiety, reduce uncertainty, and make the entire flight feel steadier and more relaxed. Tip 6. Choose an aisle seat when possible. While window seats offer beautiful views and a sense of privacy, aisle seats often provide greater comfort and flexibility for mature travelers. Easy access to the aisle allows you to stand, stretch, or visit the restroom without needing to climb over seatmates, which can feel awkward or physically uncomfortable. This freedom of movement supports healthy circulation and reduces stiffness, especially on longer flights. If you like to change position, stretch your legs, or simply feel less confined, an aisle seat makes those small movements easier and safer. Being closer to the aisle also makes it simpler to get a crew member's attention if you need help or have a question. When booking or checking in, you can politely request an aisle seat, ideally closer to the front if available, where walking distances are shorter. There's no need to explain your reasons. This is a common preference among travelers of all ages. Many people discover that switching to an aisle seat significantly reduces stress and increases overall comfort throughout the flight. Tip 7. Hydrate before and during the flight. Cabin air is much drier than most people realize, and dehydration can develop faster than expected, particularly during longer flights. Starting your journey well hydrated helps reduce fatigue, headaches, dry mouth, and lightheadedness. Instead of waiting for scheduled beverage service, you can politely ask for water soon after boarding. This is a normal request, and most crews are happy to provide it when possible. Sipping water regularly throughout the flight supports circulation, digestion, and overall comfort. If you take medications or tend to feel dry or tired while flying, hydration becomes even more important. There's no need to drink excessively, just steady, mindful intake is enough. Bringing an empty water bottle to fill after security can also help you stay hydrated at your own pace. Think of hydration as part of your travel routine, just like fastening your seatbelt or adjusting your seat. A well-hydrated body handles cabin conditions far better and helps you arrive feeling clearer, steadier, and more refreshed at your destination. A gentle reminder about pacing yourself. One of the most valuable skills in modern travel is pacing yourself. Airports are busy, terminals are large, and schedules can feel rushed, making it easy to feel pressured to keep up with everyone around you. Giving yourself extra time, arriving early, walking at a comfortable speed, sitting when you need to, can dramatically reduce stress. There is no reward for rushing, and moving too quickly often leads to fatigue or frustration before the flight even begins. Taking breaks, using moving walkways thoughtfully, and accepting assistance when it's offered helps conserve both physical energy and mental calm. Many travelers feel more confident once they stop trying to match the pace of others and instead focus on their own rhythm. This isn't about slowing things down. It's about moving smartly and intentionally. Your comfort matters, and pacing is a form of self-care. When you honor your energy level, everything feels smoother, from navigating security to boarding and arriving. A calm traveler makes better decisions and enjoys the journey much more. Communicating with crew makes everything easier. Flight attendants want passengers to feel safe, comfortable, and supported, but they can only help with what they know. Simple, polite communication goes a long way toward making your flight smoother. Whether you're asking for assistance with a bag, requesting water, or letting someone know you need a moment to settle in, speaking up early helps prevent small issues from becoming larger ones later. You never need to apologize for reasonable requests or questions. Crews are trained to support a wide range of passenger needs, and clear communication allows them to do that efficiently and calmly. Many travelers are surprised by how accommodating flight attendants can be when approached kindly and without urgency. Think of the crew as part of your support system while you're in the air. You don't have to manage everything alone. When expectations are clear on both sides, the entire flight feels more relaxed and organized. Even a brief, friendly exchange can set a positive tone that carries through the rest of the journey. A final thought before you fly. Flying comfortably isn't about memorizing every rule or pushing through discomfort. It's about making small, thoughtful choices that protect your confidence and well-being. Asking for help when needed, choosing the right seat, staying hydrated, and giving yourself time are simple habits with lasting benefits. You've earned the right to travel with ease and dignity. Experience brings wisdom, and part of that wisdom is knowing when to accept support rather than struggling silently. Every journey should feel like an extension of your life, not an obstacle course you have to endure. I hope these tips help you feel more prepared, more relaxed, and more at home in the air. Travel can still be calm, comfortable, and even joyful at any age. You deserve that experience every time you fly. Wherever your next journey takes you, may it be smooth, steady, and filled with peace of mind from start to finish.